Let me tell you about one of early Hollywood's most intriguing stars, Alla Nazimova. She was born in 1879 in Yalta, in what was then the Russian Empire. Her real name was Merimides Levitin, but she later adopted the name Alla Nazimova, inspired by a character from a Russian novel, and that's the name the world would come to know. She had a rough start in life. Her parents divorced when she was young, and she was raised mostly in boarding schools and foster homes. But even as a teenager, she had a passion for theater. She studied acting in Moscow and eventually joined the Moscow Art Theater under the direction of the legendary Constantin Stanislavski. By the early 1900s, Nazimova was a big deal in Russian theater. She toured Europe with fellow actor Pavel Orlenev, and in 1905, they came to the United States. The partnership didn't last long in New York, but Nazimova stayed, and that's when her American career really took off. She made her Broadway debut in 1906, starring in Hedda Gabler. She learned English in just 5 months of the role and completely wowed audiences and critics alike. She became one of the biggest stars on the stage, performing in plays by Chekhov, Ibsen, and other literary heavyweights. Eventually, the film industry came calling. In 1916, she made her screen debut in War Brides and quickly became a powerhouse in silent film. Nazimova wasn't just an actress. She was a producer, director, screenwriter, even a costume designer. She wore multiple hats in her productions and often worked under pseudonyms. One of her most well-known films was Salomé, released in 1923. It wasn't a hit at the time, but over the years it gained cult status for its daring visuals and artistic ambition. She built her own production company, made big money, and even created a Hollywood estate called the Garden of Alla. Eventually, she turned it into a luxury hotel that became a favorite retreat for many stars of the day. But like many in early Hollywood, her fame faded. By the mid-1920s, financial troubles forced her to scale back. She returned to Broadway and gave some of her most critically praised performances in the years that followed. In the early 1940s, Nazimova made a brief return to film, playing supporting roles in a couple of major Hollywood pictures. She passed away in 1945 at the age of 66. Today, she's remembered as one of the first true powerhouses in American film, a woman who didn't just act, but shaped the creative process at every level. Alla Nazimova was a force, plain and simple,